Alright, what's up guys? NinjaDeathStrike here, bringing you another Pokemon TCGO match. Actually I have a doubleheader, 2 matches using Blastoise Keldeo again. I do have some other decks I'll showcase, but I played this deck a lot when Boundaries Crossed released just because I was excited to try it out, so obviously I have the most games recorded with this, but I think these are the last 2 I have for now, so we'll see some other stuff next week. But anyhow, both of these are fairly quick, so I figured I'd go ahead and put them together. But this one looks like I'm going to start Mewtwo, which is always a little concerning. It's not as big a deal as it was in the past when we just had Next Destinies. But my opponent actually starts Mewtwo too. So yeah, we are pretty much in that exact situation. And he's going to attach first. So it's always weird when you have Mewtwo start. Usually you don't want to play a DCE, or you didn't back in the day, but now DCE and X-Ball turn 1 is pretty good, just because a lot of people don't play plus power, or not enough to really take advantage. So if you can get that 80 damage in there first, you will probably win, because they still need a DCE and a plus power to KO you back. Anyhow, since it looks like we're going to play this game, I go ahead and drop down my second Mewtwo, and I decide just to kind of let the first one sit there for now. My opening hand is bad after I get end. I don't draw into another supporter. I've got nothing to do, and he's going to catch up the Mewtwo I put the energy on, and probably X-Ball that one, and that's not a bad play from him. By any means. That's, a good way to get damage, threaten my energy, and kind of put a whole lot of pressure on me really early. So he does play an N again, which gets me out of my terrible hand. And then he makes a terrible, terrible decision. He attaches the DCE to Mewtwo. Why you would ever do this is beyond me. I thought at this point people understood how Mewtwo Wars work, but apparently not, because if you cannot KO the opposing Mewtwo, do not put 3 energy on your Mewtwo. He hits me for 160, which, okay, good for him. And now he's got 3 energy, so I'm going to be able to KO him in return. I have no idea what he was thinking here, but pretty much lost the game right there with one stupid play. That's really all it takes, especially when it comes to Mewtwo Wars. On top of that, I have a supporter, so I'm able to go ahead and get a War Turtle down, and then put a Keldeo in, and take the first 2 prizes. So even though my Mewtwo is going to get knocked out by a Confused Ray from Sableye, it doesn't matter, because it already took 2 prizes. So anytime your EX takes 2 prizes and puts you ahead, it's kind of done its job at that point. You can usually afford to lose it, since you're ahead in the prize trade. And yeah, I took his Mewtwo out. He's got no energy now. He dedicated both of his energy attachments to that Mewtwo and then didn't kill me. And now he's in a world of trouble. So he does finally get a Darkrai. It looks like he's Darkrai Zoroark with a Mewtwo splashed in there. I don't know if there's more than one. There probably is. I bet he's got 2. But he's able to get the Dark Patch, so he can get his Dark Energy back, which is good. And, he's just going to have to try and stabilize after that disastrous play. So he opts to go for the Confuse right here, obviously. I'm sure he would have liked to Junk Hunt, but he just needs to take out the Mewtwo at this point. So I know I have a Keldeo that's going to be ready to go this turn. I have the Blastoise in my hand. I still would have rather seen me promote the Mewtwo, just because I could definitely attack with it if I happen to whiff an energy off of the N. But then again, I would have just attached a Keldeo either way, so never mind. I did the right thing, because this way if I whiff the energy, it's just Squirtle that takes the hit, as opposed to something I'm going to need later. Now that I have another Blastoise, now that I have a Blastoise, I don't need to worry about Squirtle as much. And I do have the third one in my hand, which I can drop if I choose to, but it looks like I'm going to Ultra Ball it away instead. Probably grab another Keldeo, I would assume. take a look and see what's in my deck first. And yeah, I get another Keldeo. And the reason I'm doing this is just to give me the double rush in. Once you get 2 Keldeos on the field, you're immune to status, since you can just rush in with one and then rush in with the other. Unfortunately, I don't get the water energy here off of the N. I do hit the DCE, so I will be able to attack, but I'm not going to be able to do 110, just going to be at 90, which could be problematic. If he gets an Eviolite on the Darkrai, it's going to prevent me from 2-hit KOing it, which would be bad. I don't want to get Night Speared in return. I don't think I might have one Eviolite in the deck at this point. This is a little bit of an older build when I was still working out my trainer line, so I'm not positive exactly which trainers I have in the deck right now. In any case, I don't have the Eviolite in my hand, so if I get Night Speared, it is going to be a 2-hit KO. I'm probably going to want to use that Skyla to get another supporter. So we'll have to see if he's able to pull it off. He retreats here into his fresh Darkrai and then just passes. So he doesn't have an energy. He hasn't played a supporter in a couple of turns either, so he's struggling, which is, nice for me. Now makes my bad hand a lot less bad. And I did get the Skyla for my prizes, so I'm just going to use it here to grab a Juniper. Kind of sucks being forced to Skyla for another supporter, but sometimes it's necessary. And since I already have quite a bit of stuff on the field here, it's not that big of a problem. It's not slowing down my setup at all, like it would if I had to do that in the first few turns of the game. So we'll have to see. I decided to hang on to the Ultra Ball, which makes sense since I only play one War Turtle and it's already down. No reason to get a Blastoise without the rare candy. So I just go ahead and use Secret Sword for 90, which is good. Setting him up for 2-hit KO. He is going to try and switch. Well, he's not going to try. He's going to switch, which is the right move from him. Puts his damaged Darkrai back on the bench and allows him to attack with a fresh one. He can hit me with a Night Spear, which will put me at 90, set me up for a KO next turn, and it also forces me to have a catcher. If I don't have a catcher, I'm not going to be able to take out this Darkrai, and I'm not going to be able to take a prize on the other one. But unfortunately for him, I do have the catcher. Just going to go ahead and catcher in the other Darkrai. I probably could have attacked into the one with the energy and not had any issues, but I don't know what he plays. If he has a max potion, I definitely don't want him to be able to use that. So I decided to take the prizes while they're there. Go ahead and take out the damaged Darkrai, even though it doesn't have energy on it. I'm not too worried about facing down this final Darkrai. I've got some options. I'm going to be down to one prize, so a catcher will win me the game. I don't actually need to knock out the Darkrai. I can attack anything else and win. Or I can two-shot the Darkrai if I have to, and I can afford to give up another prize. So I do rush in here, attack with a fresh Keldeo. I'm doing the exact same thing that he did to me last turn, forcing him to have a catcher, and I get the computer search off of my prizes. So I'm also forcing him to have an N here. If he doesn't end me this turn, I just win, because I can computer search for the catcher and then kill whatever I want. So it turns out he doesn't have the N because his hand was just small. We saw he didn't have a whole lot at the end of the game. He is able to catcher out my Keldeo and take it out, but I have the computer search for the catcher, and I'm going to be able to get the win that way. So pretty quick match. It was a pretty good one, I think, apart from my opponent making that terrible move in the beginning that just won me the game. Had he not attached that DCE and just X-balled me for regular damage with 2 energy, he probably wins. But yeah, he screwed up. So anyhow, next match, same deck. This one works out a little bit strangely though. My opponent shows me he's playing Garchomp, which I didn't know was a thing people still did. I mean, I guess it's not a terrible deck, but it just can't keep up. It's a little bit too slow and too fragile. But again, we get a Mewtwo start. I played these 2 matches back to back, I think, actually, and I was forced to start Mewtwo both times. You can see my hand is not terrible, actually. The level ball and the ultra ball will be able to thin my hand out a lot, and then I'll be able to get a Bianca for quite a bit this turn. So he's going to do nothing here, but just attach a DCE and go for the X ball. Like I said last turn, that is a lot stronger now than it would have been, the last couple formats where we had a lot of plus powers being played, just because a lot of people don't play them. So on turn 1, you're pretty safe, because even if they attach a DCE, it's not enough to take you out. After that, it's a lot riskier, because they can just play DCE at any time and get the energy they need to KO you. So anyhow, I'm able to Bianca for 4, which is pretty good. Unfortunately, none of those 4 are another supporter, and I have a very bad hand. So, yeah, he plays down another Mewtwo, so this is what we're going to do. And then he plays Professor Elm, so yeah, not playing an in-format deck, which just makes me want to beat him all the more. He uses the Professor Elm to grab a Gabite, even though he doesn't have Gibble down. But, whatever. So, yeah. Looks like we're playing a Heart Gold Soul Silver to Boundaries Crossed format, everyone's favorite. And now he attaches an energy to his backup Mewtwo, which is a really good play. He recognizes if he attaches a third energy to his active, I can just come up and one-shot him. But it is not going to allow him to take a prize this turn, so I will be able to attach to my Mewtwo and then have him ready to go one way or the other next turn. So I get a Skyla here. I'm not sure what I'm going to grab with it. Looks like I'm going for the Blastoise. Decide who needs supporters, going all in on Blastoise, and yeah, I'm going to play my hand down to 0, looks like. Actually get 3 waters here. Okay, so I'm going to attach them to Keldeo, and then rush in. And the reason I'm doing this is because I do not want to engage in the Mewtwo War. This is going to force him to attach more energies to his Mewtwo if he wants to kill me. And it's also going to keep my Mewtwo's in the backfield, so that since he's only attacking with Mewtwo, it looks like once Keldeo goes down, if Keldeo goes down, which I'm assuming he will, Mewtwo's really good against Keldeo, I can come in with my Mewtwo's and sweep up. And since I got the first hit on this Mewtwo, even though he can attack me for potentially 140 here if he attached another DCE, I still get to take him down first. And then I don't care if he takes me out with the next Mewtwo because I just come up and X-Ball him back. So that's exactly what's going to happen here. He attaches to the bench Mewtwo, which is probably better. And I take down this first one, get the first 2 prizes again, which is huge in the Mewtwo exchange. And yeah, he's got 3 energy on his Mewtwo now, so if he doesn't bench something else, I win, and he doesn't, so I do. He took out Keldeo, good for him, but that's game over. I just attach a second energy to Mewtwo, X-Ball him back, and win the game. So Mewtwo Wars are still a thing, and you still need to be smart about how you play them. Just because they come in tin promos doesn't mean you can throw them around all willy-nilly. So hopefully you guys liked the matches. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Check out the links in the description, and I will have more videos coming your way shortly. Thanks for watching, guys.